Hello, lovely people. How are you? And good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you're at. All good. I love to see you. And Left Edge Jedi's popping in. How you doing, mate? I've just gotten up. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling all kinds of stuff. So let's get to it. Hi, welcome to AIMBOT. If you're here for the first time, AIMBOT, am I morally bankrupt or them? Basically is a show where we go onto the front page of the internet known as Reddit. We look up AI, the a-hole, randomly select them, just whatever comes, and we will be responding. Now, I like to apply secular humanism to my judgments on these people. I think that secular humanism has a great deal to offer. I think that it is a flexible, very, very sort of consequence-orientated, well-being orientated system for finding a path through this moral quagmire we call life. I find it very useful. I find it very nice to do. I find it helps me. You may have a different approach. That's great. Fantastic. Do share it with me. How did you come to your conclusions? Knowing who's right and wrong, or who did a bad thing and who's done a good thing, it's good to be able to distinguish that. But I really am interested in how people come to that conclusion, and whether that conclusion really facilitates the best for people overall. You're Taoist? Okay, well, my understanding of Taoism, and I must admit I haven't gotten into it a great deal, is that you generally don't think about it at all. And I have totally forgotten my drink. Just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. But yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be back in 1 sec. I do apologize. Just 1 sec. Hello. Righty ho. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen and others all out there. I do apologize. I really needed my coffee. It's been I got up early for some reason. I was checking out some Sam Cedar clips. I really, at some point, I really would like to do a review of his Surrounded thing. Absolutely incredible. And so oh, what question I'm asking, Stacey? Yeah, Stacey, good to see you. Basically, I'm asking how you arrive at your decisions on what's good and what's bad, which is essentially the moral question, what we ought to do and ought not to do. I think that some people, and I think that a lot of people just do it by just intuition, feeling. Alex O'Connor says that he's a moral emotivist, which means that he thinks that morality is just how we feel about things. And so I don't 100% disagree with that's how people are actually doing it. I think a lot of people just go with what they feel. But I'm wondering, and what I would like to present, is that the best way of going about it? So when I say that I'm a secular humanist and I believe in consequentialism, which is sort of saying, hey, what are the reasonable consequences of this action? I think that would be a lot better for figuring out what is right and what is wrong, rather than just going, well, it feels right, let's do it. Now, there is an argument to be made that, hey, you're doing it post hoc, basically. You're essentially going, okay, well, I made this decision based upon what I'm feeling, and then you're analyzing it to see whether that was right or wrong. And I don't see a problem with that. I see that as part of maybe a process of sort of going towards morality, that we evaluate and say, okay, well, next time, am I going to, do this action or not do this action, depending on how it came out? If you're at a party and you decide to, throw a cup at somebody's head because you feel like it, and then, someone gets hurt, you can go, okay, well, that wasn't a good idea. I'm not going to do that again. But it's not really your emotions at that point. It's really that, cognitive, okay, someone got hurt. Maybe the whole idea that someone got hurt, you don't like that, it doesn't feel good, which is fair enough. And I think there's some really deep questions to be asked about that. But today's goal, if you didn't know, today's goal is to get through one AIMBOT without a Christian coming in and telling me that I don't have morality, right? Like while we're sitting here talking about morality and discussing it, so last night I was like, can we get through one episode without some random Christian coming in and saying, you can't discuss morality because you don't have any? Part of me, like, it used to be in the debate world and sort of this friction between the atheists, Muslims, Christians, all of the different worldviews, if you will. I dislike that word, but the different perspectives on things. It used to be Christians used to come in and sort of say, hey, of course atheists can be moral. Of course there are moral atheists out there. Absolutely, they really, they really used to go, well, we believe that morality comes from God and atheists can be moral people. And now they've sort of gone, it's kind of this weird thing where they've come in and said, no, you can't be moral because you don't have any. You don't have morality at all. And, Christians sort of used to be able to acknowledge, hey, atheists have morality. They just think that we've derived it from God in some way, like it's written on your heart or whatever. Now they're just sort of saying, hey, you can't have morality at all. It's, like a kid with a toy, like, oh, that's mine. Why is this? That's the good question. Why is this? Why is it suddenly that instead of saying, well, atheists can be moral people and they have their, morality, it's not the right morality, but they have their morality. The reason why, I think it's due to sort of a pushback on them being a moral authority. Their moral sort of stockpile has really declined. It used to be that priests and pastors and gurus and figures in a religion were the most moral. They were what people look towards for moral guidance at all. And now in I don't know, my culture at least, to be honest with you, a priest is one of the lower down people you'd be going to see about morality kind of thing. I think that especially with what's happened in the Catholic Church and what's happened in the sort of sphere, I don't think we're really listening to them. They seem more trying to catch up with society's morality rather than dictate what morality is to society. They really, I suppose that's more of the fundamentalist people are doing that. So I think that they're sort of going, well, I can't argue against it, so what I'm going to do is just deny you it in the first place, just absolutely crack down. Oh yeah, absolutely, Jedi, 100% agree, 100% agree. They kind of just say to their people, like, oh, these people don't have morality, they've got no reference because it's not objective, it doesn't exist at all, it's not a thing. And it's sort of like, well, the law's not objective either, but it certainly is something that we establish our actions and behaviors in. I don't see why morality could not fit in the same category as legal laws and rules and regulations that we have to adhere to. Morality sort of says we don't have to adhere to it. That's what the law says, it's prescriptive. But morality sort of says what ought we do or ought not to do. And then we can sort of put it into things that are morally obligatory, like things that you have to do to be moral. I more see these things as things you have to do to for society to work. Like if you're stealing from people, society won't work. Like if everybody does that, society won't work. So that's sort of an obligation. And then you've got moral virtues, ones that, you're a better person if you do it, but you're not immoral if you don't. I see voting that way. You're a better person if you vote. But I do know some people that don't. And Australia, voting's compulsory. That's a legal thing. Sure, I like that it's a legal thing. I think that for the state to say, hey, one of your obligations as a citizen, a legal obligation, is that you vote, basically. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I actually support that. But I'm not going to think you're a horrible person because you don't. I think you get like a $50 fine here or something. It's not a huge amount. And some people I know just go, no, I don't want to. I'll just pay the fine. I'll just pay the fine and live with it. And I'm like, yeah, I disagree. I think you'd be better off voting. But, I don't think you're a bad person or you've done a horrible action, So we've got to distinguish these things. Not everything is just, I'm not a moral absolutist. Like as soon as you do the slightest bit wrong, then you're a horrible person. And that's the problem with religion. You see an attractive member of the opposite sex or the same sex, and you have a lustful thought, and suddenly you're a horrible person. I mean, is it morally virtuous to? I don't think it's even morally virtuous to not have a lustful thought. Like. Is it morally virtuous not to have, this fantasy or whatever? Maybe. That's debatable. But, I don't think it's a moral necessity. I think that you're totally fine. It's like, I guess, charity's another one. If you donate to charity, you're morally virtuous. But if you don't, I don't think you're a bad person or that's a particularly bad action. It's just, it's more moral to try to give to other stuff. How can you refuse a democracy sausage? So if everybody doesn't know, thanks, Archer. If everybody doesn't know what this is, so basically Australians have a long-standing tradition of having a sausage sizzle. I don't know. Do you guys have sausage sizzles? Like a barbecue with sausages on them, and you get a piece of bread and put a sausage in it, and put tomato sauce on it, and eat at the voting booth, and they run these sausage sizzles kind of thing. It's just one of those things. It's a freedom snagger. So if you're going, voting compulsory, that sounds like a total pain. Listen, it takes like 15 minutes over here. Literally, it takes no time at all. The longest I've ever took voting is like 20 minutes. Like seriously, I'm not even joking. We don't do the whole thing about voting on propositions and voting on this. Like you have so much to do. No, we just do state and federal and then frig off, like that's basically it. It's so basic. Like if I wanted to vote on propositions, I'd be running for government. Like let them handle that crap. I'll just vote for the people that I want, and it's compulsory. I do my civic duty. Even if it wasn't, I still would, but I like that it is, because it sort of says, as a part of society, as a part of a democracy, you have to say something. You have to give your voice in some way, and nobody minds because it's so well done, it's so easy, it's so quick, it's so simple. And in today's age where we've got remote voting and absentee voting and things like that, who cares? Like seriously, it's just I think that America makes it hard to register to vote by design. I think that they don't want many people voting, and that annoys me. It goes against sort of civic responsibility. And they have it on a Tuesday. Why a Tuesday? Do it on the weekend. What are you doing? Like seriously, I don't understand. And it's awesome. You see people come in like they've just come from the beach. They've basically got a surfboard under one arm and a voting ballot in the other. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Like, come on now. Yeah, so I've heard. But the plan today is to get through one AIMBOT without somebody coming in and telling me how much I lack morality. Like, so that's the plan, Stan. That is the plan. I think, and I do have my little thing here. But it's just interesting that I'm thinking about why they're doing that. You know, if you can't claim moral authority through the actions of your religion, then I suspect it's to claim moral authority by invalidating anybody else's ideas on it. Yeah, yeah. We ought not to have wars. Yes, yes. Do you think we ought to have wars? Is that something that you think we ought to have wars? Isn't there somebody doing the wrong thing if a war starts? I don't get what your point is. Okay, sure. Sure. I mean, is it immoral to slaughter the Canaanites? Is that the kind of morality? You do know in the Bible there's like statements where it says that if your son is rebellious and drunk, and is lazy, that you should take him in front of the temple and stone him to death. Is that the kind of morality that you're promoting? Stoning young men to death because they haven't got their lives in order? Is that the kind of morality that you're getting? Because yeah, I sure. I mean, sounds pretty repugnant to me, but hey. Yeah. Well, in fairness, he didn't say we haven't had, we don't have morality. In fairness, he said he'd take, the Bible's morality over mine. Which, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Every 2 years. We don't really have 2-year elections. We don't have like everything's just done in one slap. The only thing, I'm talking to Jill. Didn't I ban you, Jill? I'm sure I banned you. Is this an account to get around your ban? Is this the account to get around the ban? Are you ban evading? Okay, peeps, get out the ban hammer, son. How do you feel about a ban hammer? Because I'm sure I banned you. Let me check. Let's see if I did, or you just haven't been here a lot. I mean, I can unban you. You know what it takes. You know what it takes to get unbanned. All you need to do is write me hang on, I think I banned your email as well because you put me on a mailing list that I didn't want to be on, asked you to take off, and then you didn't take it off. So I think all in all, if your moral system includes like taking a email that you've gotten through the debate sphere, putting it on your personal mailing list, and then refusing to take somebody off of it, you're falling into the camp of really immoral there. I don't think you ought to do that. I wouldn't take your email that I found out through a debate, put it on an atheist mailing list, and then start sending you stuff. I think that's crap, to be honest with you. That's a really crap thing to do. So, you're really showing your morality here. Is that the Bible's morality? Like just lie and be unprofessional and things like that? Interesting. Yes, you are banned from the channel. Naughty. Ban evasion is not good, Jill. Is that something you ought to be doing? Getting around a ban by making up fake accounts? Is that your morality? Is that moral to you? Or is that sort of you just, not caring about what's right and wrong and just doing what you want? I see a lot of that. Just people doing what they want. It does sound pretty Christian. Thank you. Oh, do you get him, Yeah. Hey, I will use repugnant. How dare you? How dare you? That's just an English word. You don't have a monopoly on it, Beck. How dare you? How dare you? All right, fantastic. Okay, yeah, no, Jill, I debated once on Debate Cafe about slavery. What? What? You couldn't debate me on the subject of morality? What? Jill, all you've got to do is send me an email saying why you should be unblocked. I've told you this over and over. It's basically a test to see if you can engage like an adult. But quite frankly, you're the person that put me on a mailing list against my will and wouldn't take me off. So you're crap. Your morality is bankrupt. You're terrible. You're a terrible person. You know, you're absolutely horrible. Because I wouldn't do that to you. Didn't somebody once say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you? I'm sure somebody said that. Who was that? Oh, I can't even remember. Who said that, Jill? Who said that? So you're doing something to me that you wouldn't want me to do to you. Oh, it's almost like there's some Christian that said that once upon. Oh, it was Abraham Lincoln. You're absolutely right. Yep. Absolutely right. Yep. I totally forgot. It was Abraham Lincoln. It was Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, the hypocrisy of Christians is, you know, some Christians, look, some are fine. Like, I'm not going to bunch all of them. Jill's a particularly egregious bunch of hypocrisy. He sort of says, hey, you don't let me talk. But every time you're in a debate with him, he will absolutely talk over the top of you. He's got no control over himself whatsoever. So it's interesting, these people that go, hey, I'm an advocate for free speech. I want people to be able to speak their minds. Then you start to debate them and they just talk over the top of you and they don't let you get a word in, and they just, you know, they want to drown you out. And it's like, well, what happened to the free speech, sir? What happened to the let people have their voice? Really what they mean, and it's like sort of Hovind, he does a lot of this. He's not talking about let everybody speak when they're talking about free speech. They're talking about let them speak. You know, they're not concerned about anybody else. They don't want them to be able to speak. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, Beck, exactly. Advocates of their own free speech. Not yours. No, not atheist free speech. Why would we stand up for atheist free speech? No. No, we want to have Christians have free speech. Yeah, he's pretty much a joke of the internet kind of thing. Okay, let's get started. AIMBOT, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Just a sip of coffee. I you know, nobody's told me I don't have morality yet, so that's a win for me. Okay, UDEF. Yeah, UDEF's been around a while. He'll know this one. So people hassle Jill by saying Jill's a girl's name because Jill, he has this weird, I don't know, he's this weird guy that can't talk to women. He finds like women, like he doesn't talk to them and doesn't engage with them and doesn't maybe think he should associate with. He's a weird one. He's very strange. You know, it's weird. Okay, am I the a-hole for not giving my co-worker a ride after he didn't spot me $1 at the vending machine? What? Yeah, probably. What? Maybe? That sounds weird. He didn't spot you $1. Did he have $1? Look, if somebody asked me for $1, it's kind of sad now because I used to dump my change on, you know, just people asking for change. Look, I don't care. You might go, oh, well, they're going to use it for, you know, drugs or alcohol or something. You know what? I would rather give money to someone that desperately needs it and be, you know, taken advantage of than somebody need money and they don't get it. So I used to dump all my change, but now that I've sort of, you know, I've sort of gone cashless kind of thing. It's kind of, you know, I really wish, you know, maybe I should just get a fund kind of thing because, you know, I just, I'd rather, hey, Titan, so good to see you. Hey, Titan, you missed getting the, you missed out. You could have blocked Jill twice, you know, and you totally missed out. You missed out. Hold on, I didn't even do a ban hammer in chat. What am I doing? we gave Jill the these. That's what we gave Jill. Oh, look, it's nothing to do with not being able to debate Jill. I'll debate Jill if there's a moderator that can stop him interrupting and stuff like that. You know, like he really is obnoxious with his interruptions. I do need to have a moderator to stop him being obnoxious because he can't seem to help himself. Like mute him. Because like I've been in debates with him, and even when the moderator says, hey, let him finish talking, he still can't do it. He just cannot. He can't do it. He's got no control over himself. So, you know, someone to ban him, basically. He kind of reminds me of that Ross guy I debated. Like, he just doesn't want to give you a chance. But mostly because of that. I you know, he's really obnoxious. So, you're just here to watch a trash fire. What are you saying about my stream, sir or ma'am? Hey, here's a tangent. You guys ever played Hey Cow? So this is the weirdest game you'll ever see. It's a road trip game, and it's called Hey Cow. So what you do when you're on a road trip, and look, okay, Australia's got a lot of pastures and a lot of farms and things like that, okay? You may be in a state that has it or not, but Hey Cow, you basically roll down the windows of the car, or you put down the windows of the car, and sort of when you pass a pasture with cows in it, which happens a lot when I go down south, right? Just accept that it happens a lot. What you all do, everybody in the car yells out, "Hey cow," to the cows there, right? You just go, "Hey cow," when you pass by. And the first cow to look wins. Yes, that's right. The cow wins. You don't win. The cow wins. That's the game of Hey Cow. Look, I'm Australian. Don't judge me. All right. Are you the arsehole for not giving your co-worker a run? I kind of think so. I don't know. It depends. If your co-worker, like, are you taking cow? Cow? You think cow is Cal? Okay, I've got to fix my accent. Could be a likely yes. Okay. Slug bug? What the hell is slug? Oh, that's where you punch somebody whenever you see a Volkswagen Beetle. Yeah, I mean, look, Jedi, when we were younger, sure, but now it's sort of, you know, I don't think there's many Volkswagens around. Not the bugs. There's new ones around. I guess you could do that. But yeah. Yeah, punch somebody whenever you see a Nazi car. Oh, God, I probably just demonetized my stream right there. Fantastic. All right, gloves are off. Let's go nuts. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Reed. I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy. Punch buggy. Yeah. Punch buggy is what we used to call it. Yeah. Okay, am I the asshole for not giving my coworker a ride after didn't spot me $1 at the vending machine? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you don't have any. I usually give my coworker a ride on the way back from work, usually driving 5 miles out of my way per day to drop him off at his place because he doesn't have a car. I've been doing that for about 2 years now. I haven't asked for anything, and he has never offered. Yeah, okay, 2 years. That's a very nice thing to do. I mean, you could ask that he put in some fuel money kind of thing. I think that would be entirely appropriate. If you're doing carpooling, which it sounds like you're sort of doing at least one way, it's more than reasonable that you say, hey, you know, put in for the fuel because that's what I'm spending driving you home. Left-handed Jedi member for 14 months. What are you, crazy? Left-handed Jedi. Time flies when you're having fun. Sure does. Yeah. I don't know why that is. I get you. I get you. Yeah, swastika. Actually, the swastika is now the Tesla. That is now. Apparently, they did an ad campaign. Who was talking about it? It was God, who was it? I was watching him this morning. Rationality Rules. Yeah, it was Rationality Rules. Yeah, absolutely. Rationality Rules did a really good thing about a British campaign to hassle Elon Musk because he's a bastard. Absolutely is a prick. So let's hassle Elon Musk, and they called it the swastika. I did not know that Elon Musk called up the extreme right-wing German party and sort of congratulated them on their performance in the election. That's fucked. That's screwed up. Yeah. Okay, so I usually give my coworker a ride. Yep, yesterday I was at the vending machine and wanted a soda. I was short $1 and left my wallet in my car. I would usually go and get my wallet, but it takes forever for me to wait the elevators at my workplace, so I asked if he could swap me $1 for the soda. He straight up refused and said, just use your own money, man. I don't really give money to friends or coworkers. Sorry. Wow. You don't give money to friends? This is the shittiest friend ever. Like, seriously. What is this toxic empathy I've been hearing about? Like, dude, I straight up, man, if you're my coworker, I'd say, here, have $1. Don't worry about it. Like, seriously, it's $1. Like, well, what? You can't tell her head. Yeah. Look, I'm all for EVs. I'm just not for Elon. Like, I think there's other EVs out there. You know, I would recommend one of them. Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm with you, aren't you? But I'll get to the comments afterwards. I'll do this as per usual. I'm kind of all over the place at the moment, as per usual. But hey, that's what you pay me for, right? That's what. Yeah, seriously, like who doesn't give their coworker $1 for the soda? Oh, it's against my policy to give money to my coworker. I'm sorry. What? What, you want to garnish my wages for that $1? I mean, holy crap. Holy crap. Like, I would understand if you say, hey, I'm cashless. I don't have it on me. I'm really sorry. You know, I would feel bad if I couldn't give, like, I don't know who would do that. Like, holy crap. I was taken aback by that comment because I've probably spent well over $1,500 in gas for the past 2 years for this guy, and he can't even spot me $1 this once. I got pretty upset by that, and once it hit 5, I told him I'm not getting him free rides anymore. He seemed upset and said I was petty. He's petty. He's petty. Wow. Okay. What? I'm sorry. Not giving somebody a ride because it's like, 5 miles out of your way. That's not petty, but not giving somebody $1 for the vending machine because their wallet's in the car. That's petty. Holy crap. Sir, you need to redefine what petty means. Yeah, that's shit. Look, yeah, I mean, I would give rides to people all the time. Like, I mean, I don't think it's really a great big deal, especially if I'm going pretty much that way in the first place. But if somebody did say, hey, I won't lend you $1 or give you $1, even though I'm driving them every day, that's fair. You can do that, but I don't have to drive you either. I think that's very, very, that's very fair. Like, why are you upset? Like, this is the thing about reciprocity. Like, reciprocity is one of the two sort of social emotions that all mammals have, or most mammals have. That number one is empathy. So you can your mirror neurons, you can tell what other people are feeling or what other people are going through or what other people are sort of the situation they're in. You can tell what they're feeling. Reciprocity is the idea that, or it's the feeling that you get when you are not being treated fairly, that your social interactions are not in balance. That's reciprocity. And what we have here is a violation of that. You're going out of your way to help somebody else out, and they won't help you. So that's a breakdown of the sort of a social contract here, that he's saying, hey, I'll be your you're my colleague at work, but I will go out of my way for you. If you don't reciprocate, yeah, I don't see why he should keep doing that. Eric Wanda, so good to see you. Member for 12 months. The yearling steps in. Eric Wanda, so good to see you. What's up? Oh, I've already had people who are banned trying to circumvent, people coming in, making it about them. Not you, Eric. You're cool, mate. You're just, giving your warm membership. And I snuggle it. I snuggle your membership. Occasional free breakfast taco from said, absolutely. Yeah, you got it. You got it. At least show something, like, hey, look, you've been driving me a lot. I really appreciate it. I'm going to shout you lunch today. If you can't afford that, at least sort of saying, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Do you have any things that can help you out at work or whatever that I can do for you to show my appreciation? That's all it takes. It's not hard. And most people that are doing things, they don't require an equal level. They just require some kind of reciprocation of the things that they're doing, kind of thing. Maybe the guy sounds like he's so full of himself that he thinks maybe it's a benefit for the guy that's working, Well, barter suggests that you're getting things of equal value. I don't think it's that. I think that, like Stacey says, the occasional breakfast taco. I think it's sort of, it's just showing that you appreciate what they're doing that's more important, and showing it with some kind of reciprocity, some kind of gesture to say, hey, that's really appreciated. This guy sounds like an asshole. Like, seriously. I might not even like somebody at work. I'd still give him $1 for the vending machine. Come on. Seriously? That's that. And why? Because you've got a policy against it? Weird. I've got the feeling that the guy who is doing this, sort of getting angry because he's not giving him rides, it sounds like he doesn't like the guy. He doesn't like the guy who's giving him free rides, but he doesn't want to really say anything outright because he doesn't want to, walk or take the bus or cycle or do any of those things. He wants those free rides, but he doesn't actually like him, which is kind of really crappy. Was poster right for refusing to drive colleague? And this can be some sort of difficult paths to go down, because when you're at work, it's hard because you've got to work with these people. But I think that for 2 years he's been giving him rides. Damn. Won't give him $1. Wow, that's absolutely screwed, quite frankly. I don't know what to say to that. I totally understand if he didn't have it on him or something, but just because he doesn't, like, at that point, is he a co-worker? You know what? I would probably say, I'm not a co-worker. I'm your chauffeur. How do you feel about giving money to your chauffeur? Seriously, what the hell? What the hell? Anyway, I have the poll there. Please do vote. If you don't want to vote, cool. That's cool too. I don't mind. I don't mind. Okay, so let's see what the Redditors have to say. Not the arsehole. You shamed him you asked him for a small favor and he refused and shamed you. You have no obligation to keep offering him a ride. But you should know this will drastically deteriorate your relationship and they'll make a big deal out of it. Yeah, and that's difficult if you do work with somebody. But at the same time, if they're not going to reciprocate, I would probably stick by my guns. I probably would, to say, hey, them's the breaks. If you can't support me, I don't know why I should support you. I thought we were good, colleagues. I thought, we were. But he's saying he doesn't he doesn't give money to his friends. To friends or co-workers. Does he have any friends? this is some wild crap, you know, like you've never had a friend that like rocks up to a dinner and has forgotten their payment or whatever, and you cover them till they can. What the hell? Weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. Thankfully, work in completely different departments. All right, that's fine. Yeah, cool. Oh, good then. Fuck them. Not the arsehole. I wouldn't even call it petty in my humble opinion. The coworker doesn't believe in involving money with friends. Not a terrible idea. I don't know about large sums of money, but you know, like if my friend needs something, what are you talking about? But completely ignores all the money you've spent on them over the time. I would imagine even if they originally were, they are no longer appreciative of the rides and more so expect them. Yeah, and it's that expectation that really gets me. You know, like they're just sort of, at first, someone can think, oh, well, you know, that's a really nice thing you're doing for me. And then it turns into a expectation. And you should never have that turn. Like, I work very hard to make sure that I am not taking the things done for me for granted. Like if my wife does something for me, I take the time to really sit and go, well, I really appreciate that, sweetie. You know, like I appreciate it because I don't want to take it for granted. I don't take anything people do for me for granted. I think that it's very easy to get into that lull of going, oh, but they've always done X. They'll keep doing it. And then being upset when they don't. And I think that that is a really problematic thing to do. I think that sort of expecting people to do something that they don't morally or legally have to do, you know, it's a problem. So I don't take any of you people out there for granted. I love it that you've come. I appreciate that you've come. I don't, you know, you're not expected to, you're not compelled to, you're not forced to. I do not take you for granted. It is something that I really appreciate and appreciate every single day. So, you know, stuff like that, you've got to appreciate that stuff. People don't have to come and, you know, watch your YouTube or give you, you know, super chats and things. They don't have to do that. That's entirely their choice. And I absolutely appreciate it. And I'm going to set up a members only stream. I promise. I've been having trouble doing the thumbnail and I haven't, you know what? No excuses. I will this week, in fact, let me see my calendar. How about tomorrow? Do I have anything tomorrow? Let me get my calendar out. Screw it. I'm going to do this. My ADHD has been kicking my ass lately, seriously. But, you know, we're working on it. I'm getting a few tools like Google Calendar set up to deal with it. Yeah, I've got an interview on Saturday, but I can do tomorrow. Oh, let's freaking do it. Let's just do it. Yeah. Member stream. So come along. We'll play some games. We'll talk some crap. Talk about movies and stuff that interests me. Talk about books. Talk about stuff and things. You know, just run it for a couple of hours. Just talk crap. There's basically, it's going to be a stream that's just all tangents. The member tangent stream. You want it, you love it, you got it. Yeah. Okay. Where am I at? Where am I going? Yeah. Side note, my brother used to be a server at a restaurant and gave a dishwasher a ride home for weeks. He never asked anything but did it just to help out. He only stopped after he watched that dishwasher take money off his table while bussing it. Oh, is that for the servers? Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's the tip for the servers. I heard that like at a tipping job in America, like a job that you get tips, like the minimum wage can be like $2.15. And that doesn't even, like, that basically covers the taxes from it. So they essentially live on, that is horrendous. That is criminal. That is absolutely criminal. It's horrendous and bad. I understand why people tip. but I sometimes just feel that they're just loading that responsibility to give somebody pay onto the consumer, and that sucks. Like, that is awful. I think that is disgusting. The oops all tangent stream. Yep, I like it. I like it. Yep. Good deeds are great, but just be mindful of your surroundings. Sometimes the cookie just isn't enough for the mouse. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. Well, so there is something to be said for being wary of people taking advantage of you, sure. But I think that personally, when like, it can go too far. Like my example before, when you're giving money to somebody that's, homeless or something, and some people say, oh, but he's going to spend it on alcohol or drugs or cigarettes or any of these things. I would rather be taken advantage of and give money to somebody that's going to spend it on something like that than deny money for food or water or something from somebody that desperately needs it. Like, at the same time, be conscious of people trying to take advantage, but at the same time, prioritize what the outcome is going to be. Like, if you can live with being, taken advantage of in order for somebody else to live, I personally would do that. So what? They've taken a small amount of money off me and fooled me. Big deal. I would rather that happen than somebody be denied food. That's what I'd rather. I mean, some people say, oh, well, I'll only buy you food, kind of thing, but yeah. The OP only mentioned the cost of gas. What about the wear and tear on the car? 5 miles for 2 years adds up. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Time spent also adds up. Dude, like, OP like 3K and couldn't spare $1. Yeah. He could have just lied and he said it says he doesn't have it, but he wanted to shame him. I'm not sure why that shames him, to be honest with you. I don't know why that shames him. Why does it shame him? It's like, because if I was next to somebody and they said, oh, I asked for $1, and you go, oh, I don't really give money to friends or co-workers, I would think, what a cock. Like, seriously, what a absolute tool. Sorry, man, I don't give rides to co-workers, only friends. Well, this guy doesn't even give money to friends either. So even if he was a friend, he'd just go, sorry, can't give you $1. It's policy. I don't set the policy. I only enforce it. This is exactly why setting boundaries is important. Yeah, absolutely. I like they're talking about boundaries. I like talking about boundaries and what we can give as boundaries and what we don't give as boundaries. I fair. I do like that. I have talked about my own boundaries in the past. And I think that with boundaries, it's important to note that a lot of times they are contextual, they are circumstantial, so they change with the circumstances. A lot of it does depend on what kind of mood or mental state that you're in when you start up. Sometimes, my boundaries for being insulted and ridiculed are so massive it's ridiculous. Like, sometimes I'm not in the mood for that. I don't want to do it, kind of thing. It makes it difficult when you're sort of going into rooms and things if you're not in the mood. And sometimes I'm absolutely fine. Sometimes I'm not, and that's okay. You don't have to explain to people. I mean, I'm explaining to you voluntarily, but you don't have to explain to people where your boundaries are. It's your boundaries. You don't have to justify them to anybody. Not the arsehole and not petty either. No, absolutely not. You just woke up is all. This is simply not the kind of person to whom one donates $1,005 in gas, and laws knows only how much additional drive time over a 2-year period. You can choose to tell him in explanation that is for ways cut off. You're right. Good policy. I should never have spotted you that $1,500 in gas, and I should have totally charged you for my time during each 5-mile detour. Yeah. Or you can tell him the truth. You're not the sort of person who deserves the sort of act of kindness from which could have been benefiting for the last 2 freaking years. Yeah. Or you could just say, hey, giving each other's favors is reciprocal, and you failed to reciprocate. Sorry. It's my policy. I have a policy of not reciprocating with favors for those that won't give them to me. I think that's fair. It's not even transactional, because a transactional person would expect them to pay the $1,500 in gas, et cetera, et cetera. We're just looking for a sort of, a quality of kindness, essentially. Jesus, I wouldn't even, if somebody's at a vending machine and if they're a complete stranger and I had a spare $1, I'd give it to them. I mean, damn, it's only $1. Relax. I don't understand. I really don't. Like, Okay. What have the lovely people in chat said? And thank you all for joining. This is awesome. I've already made one creationist very mad, so that's awesome. Thanks for reminding me. I went and thumbs up. Yeah, don't forget to give a thumbs up and a subscribe and push a button. Push it 3 times, push it twice. I don't care. No, look, it really does help, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, Titan was the first one to ever ban Jill. I believe that. Like, from what I know of this man, this god we call Titan Uranus, I believe that. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. It's just a banhammer, just a big old ball of banhammer. Why not? But these people are the worst of the worst. Like, they're absolutely terrible. Jill's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. They are the worst. Sounds like you need a lady moderator so that he will just freeze. Yeah, it's interesting. He kind of ignores them, doesn't talk to them. I was on Debate Cafe one time, and that's the place where I debate him, which is Snake Was Right's debate channel. I emailed Snake Was Right. He's fine. He's just taking a break, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But I did get worried about him because that hasn't been doing many debates lately. But he's fine. Him and what was her name? Anyway, he had a co-host there. It was like psychology film something, something to do with movies, psychological movie something, film something. I don't remember her name, but he would talk to Snake, but not to her, kind of thing. He would just more or less ignore her, which was so strange because she'd be like, she was the one doing the analysis. They would have this way of sort of going, okay, this is what we liked about your debate performance. This is what we didn't like. It was more a formal thing, and I liked it. And she would sort of give feedback, which I thought was very helpful. But he sort of more just ignored it and wouldn't talk to her, which was just wild. Queenslander? I'm not a Queenslander. No. I'm a Westralian, mate. Westralian. Yeah. Oh, I heard the best thing. I was at where was it? It was a Stephen Fry spoken word thing. Like, so it was just Stephen Fry getting up and talking. The man is delightful. I love him. Stephen Fry is amazing. And he just spoke about his life and his experiences and going through all of the things that he did, which he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of hardship, and sort of being a gay man in Hollywood and, in England was very difficult. And Stephen Fry is incredible. Anyway, he sort of said, did we have a word, like we have Sydney-siders, we have Brisbaneites, we have Melbourneites. Do we have a word for people from Perth? And someone in the audience yelled out, perfectionists. And I thought that was hilarious. He thought it was lame. It probably is lame, and I still love it. Don't at me. Perfectionists. Yeah, perfectionists. Tesla talk. It's not like he asked for it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, holy crap. Who like, somebody's at a vending machine and is short $1. Why wouldn't you just give them seriously? I would understand if you're like, oh, I'm really sorry, I really want a bag of chips and I don't have enough to cover both of us. I completely understand that. But if I've got a spare $1, damn, here, have it. You know, this is sort of that. Oh well, I'm out for myself. How much is petrol? Usually about $1.60 a liter. I'm not sure how much a liter is in freedom units. At the moment, that's the cheapest I've seen it round lately. Liter to gallon. Okay. So let's copy that and do that times 1.60. So it's like 42 cents a gallon, I think, if my measurements. No, that's not right. No, I've done that wrong. I've definitely done that wrong. Divided by 160. Yeah, I don't think I'm adding this up correctly. Yeah, so it's about the cheapest I've seen is about $5 per gallon. Don't be for EVs, be for public transportation. Oh, look, I like public transportation. I think that if you're working like in the city and stuff, look, I mean, I have a car, and if I needed to go to work to the city, which the city is kind of, I mean, it's not hugely far. We're in the inner suburbs, but it's definitely not sort of walking distance or something like that. I would just take the bus because I didn't want to screw around with parking, and it's just a nightmare. I don't like it. It's just horrible. But sometimes I would drive to the train station kind of thing if I didn't have a lot of time, or if the buses weren't particularly receptive to my needs at that point. So because I did sort of phone work, I would be all over the place with starting times. It would be anything from 5 a.m. to sort of a lot later. It was a little rough, actually. Like the shift that was like you had to get into work by 11, and then it changed to like 6 a.m. That was rough. Like that was a rough change, I got to say. And it would happen occasionally. Lending change, yeah, don't lend change. Like seriously, just give change. Who cares? Who cares? I is it really worth it to chase up that dollar to get it back? Come on now. Let it go. Let it go. Standard operating procedure. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I would give people a lift. It's just whatever. You just sure. But I mean, if you're giving somebody a lift to work if you're carpooling on a regular basis, then yeah, maybe, sure. You drive that for free, but won't pay $1 for pop. Yeah. Breakfast taco. Yeah, I've already given my bold endorsement of the breakfast taco system, Stacey. I would just be kind. Yeah. Well, it's hard because kindness can be abused. People that are kind are sometimes taken advantage of, and that sucks. That's really, really crappy thing to do. I think that it's kind of be as kind as you can while still protecting yourself from being taken advantage of. I think there's got to be a boundary there about what you would do. I think there's nothing wrong with kind. Definitely be kind, but don't be so kind that people will just take advantage of you and take it for granted. And I think this guy falls into that. He was being incredibly kind and being taken for granted. So I think that sort of saying, hey, if you're not going to be kind to me, I'm not going to be kind to you. And I think that that's fair. When I was overnight boss at THD, I would buy $400 worth of meat and do a barbecue once or twice a month out of my pocket. Corporate actually told me off for it. Okay. I don't see a problem with that. Jay and Silent Bob comes to mind. The George Carlin bit is hilarious. Oh yeah, I mean, I just, you know what, I have that Bigfoot Jesus emoji that I love so much. Like I just love that emoji, and it's patterned on the Buddy Christ, like it really is. Like that emoji is actually like I did it with AI, of course, because I'm poor and can't afford an artist, but I you know I wanted like Buddy Christ, like the yeah, that is just hilarious. Hmm. Actually, I think I'm thinking of Dogma. Oh, you're talking about the one where he said the laws of the road. Yeah, I remember that as well. And then like they tried it on with a nun who was Princess Leia. God, why am I having a mental blank? Carrie Fisher. Damn, why did I have that mental blank? My mind is going, I swear. Take the bus. Yeah, I do like to. You know what? I kind of miss taking the bus. It's just nice to read. Rules of the road. Yeah. I gotcha. Although I will say I did love that Buddy Christ thing in Dogma, especially that Carlin's playing a bishop. The most atheist guy you could ever imagine playing a bishop. There's just something delicious about that, like really. 2 years is a long time to be someone's personal Uber. Well, it's not really personal Uber, Luke. If you're going in the same direction anyway, I totally understand just going, how long does it take to go 5 miles out of your way? That's not a great deal, is it? I guess maybe 15 minutes out of your way. I suppose it is, because you have to then go back, don't you? Yeah, I get what you mean. I do. I really do. He's also the tit for tat scorekeeper card, just the worst kind of person to have do a favor for you. Yeah, I don't understand that. I you know what I mean? Like I remember somebody saying once to me that you know a real friend when they help you move, kind of thing. And I've helped tons of friends move, and I don't expect anything. I don't. Why wouldn't you help somebody that needs help? It just is. I don't know. I don't even think about it. Like why would you? I just don't understand. I would never have given someone outside my family free transportation for 2 years. That's insane. Well, not really. I mean, if you're going the same way anyway, I don't see a big problem with it. But yeah, it does seem like they're taking it for granted, and that's an issue, Sterling. That'd be the last time I chauffeur for the other person. Yeah, I agree. Um, Jobs do that to me all the time. That's why I stopped doing extra things and helping like I used to. Yeah, I get you, Andrew. I think that the best movie that summed it all up with Office Space, when the guy got lumberged, and that has made its way into sort of slang parlance. Like if the boss is saying, "Hey, I'm going to have to get you to come and do overtime," because I would get that a lot. I'm going to have to get you to, call up this person, like not asking, but telling you what you're doing. You've been lumberged, right? Now, if you haven't seen Office Space, oh my, like it is the most accurate representation of an office I've ever seen in my entire life. 100%. 100%. Comes from the Jim Crow era. Well, we're seeing now that younger people and Generation Z and people like that, they're sort of more saying, hey, I'm not going to do these extra things for you. If I'm coming to work, I want my time to be paid. Like there was an expectation when I worked, and I did it all the time, that you were there 15 minutes before your shift and all set up, ready to go, right? So because the way that my work was, you had to start like on the minute kind of thing. It was the only way they could get systematic approach to the call. So you'd be paid from when you start, but you're expected to be there 15 minutes before to get set up and ready to go. Now employees are starting to say, well, hold on a second. If you require me to be there at this time, that's when I start work. And I had done this for ages, just, show up 15 minutes early. If I add them all up over the time, that would have been a lot of money. Cinematic psychology. Thank you, UDEF. Like, so I'm supportive of this. I think that that's a good thing. I think that looking back now, I go over the, decade and decades that I did it, that would have been a lot of money, like an extra, whatever per hour over, that amount of years every single day or every single weekday. That's a lot of money that I've been robbed of. That's not right. And I didn't really think about it until I heard that, hey, these young people, they're not doing those favors anymore. They're not accepting that, hey, the job comes with this thing that I'm not going to get paid for. And why should they? I was talking to Lynn, like, they're less invested in jobs because, are they ever going to be able to own a house from there? Are they looking for, some sort of life of, retiring and things? Like, they can't even afford houses. It's nuts. And the cost of living is skyrocketing. That they're basically saying, hey, if I'm going to have to try to afford groceries and to go out occasionally, you're going to pay me a full amount. And I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. I 100% support, I 99% support unions. I think unions are really important to balance the power of corporations. However, they can get out of control. We had a dock workers union that got well out of control. They were out of control. So I don't think that unions are always good, but I think it's very rare that they're not. I think that sort of collective bargaining is a very powerful tool for workers. You missed about same here. Yeah, no, I miss it as well, UDEF. I really do. I really did like what they were doing. Tori says, I have someone who is a friend of mine, technically owes you over 1,500 because of certain things. If she told me no to bumming $1, yeah, I'd be feeling some type of way too. Yeah, right on. Yeah, absolutely. Flat Perthers, damn right. Damn right. Altogether too many. Then again, one is too many. I mean, we live on the coast. People, like, we have a lot of, because we're like one of the only ports on the Indian Ocean in Australia, you see cargo ships, coming to and fro over the horizon all the time. So one is too many considering where we are. $1.50 per gallon. Is that in American dollars? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. I think it's $1.50 per liter, probably. Gas is around $5.25 here in California. Really? I thought it was a lot cheaper in America. I don't know. That is California, right? Is that CA? Missouri, it's like $3.25. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm learning that gas varies. I didn't mean the standing operating procedure to be the expectation of the driver, but that's polite of the passenger to make an offer. Well, that's true. That's true. Stacey says, I cannot disagree with you, especially on a day like today, that kindness can be abused. Yeah, absolutely, Stacey. And I feel like in the American system, look, I'll be having Nick from In Time on my Saturday, which is Friday night, to interview. And we want to talk about, how what the hell is happening in the US, what the hell is happening in the political system. So if that does interest you, that's going to be a fascinating conversation. He knows more about it than anybody else I know, quite frankly. So I really want to have a talk with him about that. And, I feel like the right's taken advantage of the kindness. The left is sort of saying, hey, we accept everybody, and then they've taken advantage of it. So many times I've seen that the right get in, they do all of these things that are just awful. And then when the left get in, the right is sort of like, well, don't do anything. We be fair to us kind of thing. And it's like, you guys have no interest in reciprocating. So I don't know. California taxes make some of the difference, but you can supposedly can afford, will pay it. They charge it. Market eminent. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Thank you. Thank you. You have traveled about 1.2 million kilometers on your bike, 41 years, and maybe half of that on foot. My driver's permit expires when I was 21. I didn't renew it. I have left an insignificant footprint on Earth. Oh, look, Majestic. You do what you can, and that's amazing. That's really good. I walk a lot. I do like walking a lot, like it, just strolling along. My wife and I have been noted to be fast walkers just because we walk a lot. If possible, we will walk, not drive. Sometimes it's just like, screw it though, I really don't feel like walking, and that's okay. That's all right. We do what we can. But yeah, it's right on. Awesome. Three years ago, AJ sent you a Buddy Christ style picture of him. Yeah, nice. That's awesome. I love it. That is Dogma. You are 100% correct. Lumberg fucked it. Yeah. He sure did. He sure did. Over time, unless you're on management, needs to be time and a half, no questions asked. Yeah, I agree. Well, we've got very strict regulations around that in Australia. Our workforce is very heavily regulated. It's why we've got the highest minimum wage in the world, because Australians are weird. We're a weird people. We're a very, very strange people. We have this idea that, hey, you take care of the workers because they're in fact what is running your economy. Crazy, right? Just crazy. Yeah, it's not the rich that are running your economy. It's the workers. It's the people that do the stuff, like the mining people and the, industrial people and even the service people. They're what's running your economy, not the rich people. Just the rich people need to be reminded of that once in a while. Not just yes, chain restaurant servers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think anybody involved in clerical work or service industry will relate to that film, because it's just, yeah. Is the one? No, it's not. No, absolutely not. I think that was what was that? I don't even remember what that was. I know the one you're talking about. I don't know the name of it, but no, it's not that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to ask you to, come in on Saturday. Oh, and I'm gonna have to get you to come in on Sunday as well. Okay, thanks. You've been lumberged. It's $1.50 to $1.75 Canadian dollars. Okay, I don't. Okay, what Canadian dollars? You're Canadian dollaring. Okay, gotcha. CA is Canadian. Gotcha. Be sure to gremlin-proof the stream. Nick is a walking... No, look, if I could gremlin-proof the stream, I wouldn't be on here. Look, half the time it's my fault this stream crashes. I won't lie. The jump to conclusions, yeah. That was a terrible idea. Airheads, you're right, Luke. You're absolutely right. Airheads, yes. You've been canucked. Absolutely. I love being canucked. Canuck me all you want. I love a canoodle. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. But let's see how the quiz went. The poll. Did you poll well? Poster has done nothing wrong for 69%. Nice. That's what I want to see. Did you guys orchestrate that? I beautiful. That's what I like to see. No. Empire Records was the one where they had to save the record store in a certain amount of time, kind of thing. Had Liv Taylor in it, kind of thing. Yeah, no, I remember Empire Records. That was a good movie too, but that wasn't taking a radio station hostage. That was saving a record store that was being bought from under the guy. That was a different one. Yeah, well, I think that whatever you're comfortable with taking advantage of kind of thing. You know, someone takes advantage of me by taking my money and spending it not on a sandwich but on, you know, alcohol. I don't really mind. It's I would rather, you know, be taken advantage of than deny somebody food. That's what I'm saying. I'm perfectly fine with that risk, right? So I guess it's just more what you can risk kind of thing. It's okay. Next one up is from Illustrious Roll. We'll have a poll for the roll. Am I the a-hole for asking my boyfriend's mum to call me by my actual name, or mom to call me by my actual name? I don't think so. I think that where names are concerned, like to be honest with you, I just call people what they want to be called. Like, what's the big deal? Nicknames can stick. I get you. Nicknames can absolutely stick. I think that if I have a nickname, I'm usually fine with it. You know, I just like whatever. I don't really get upset at all. But it depends, like, you know, depends what that name is. I, 30 male, have a name in English-speaking countries is usually a gender-neutral nickname. Think Alex, Charlie, Frankie, etc. Sure. I am half Asian, and in the country of my name's origin, it's a unisex name that isn't short for anything. Okay. Since I met my boyfriend's 46 male mum, 70 SF? SF? I don't. Single female? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Step female? I don't know. 70s female. Okay, gotcha. All right. It took me a while for me to. I thought it stood for something. No, it's just 70s female. They're not sure how old she is. Okay, so she's a little bit of the older side. She repeatedly asked what my name is short for. I've told her it isn't short for anything and different languages just have different naming conventions, but she keeps asking anyway. She makes other related comments that make me uncomfortable, asking where I'm really from. Oh, that's just racist, yo. Is it just me? That's just racist. That it doesn't make sense for me to have a name from country A if I'm really from country B. Oh, please. Oh, come on now. What the hell? You do know that your name, even though you're in the United States, probably originated from England. Just saying. You know, if you're a Harry or a Sally, it originated somewhere else, not the country in which you. Wow. That she hates the trend among young people of having gender neutral names, and I must have a proper name she can call me. What? Why? What? I've talked to my boyfriend about it, and he says he gets why it's uncomfortable. Doesn't want to bring it up because she wouldn't understand. Oh, wow. This is just. Yeah, no, just let Granny be racist and horrible. She's probably going to drop off the perch soon. Like, seriously, this is just horrible. I've started clarifying what my name is, asking it to leave it at that because I'm sick of answering the same questions every time. Ugh. What are you supposed to do with that? I mean, dude, just. I don't think you're being an a-hole. Last time we saw her, she greeted me by calling a long version of my name, Alexis, instead of Alex. Look, that's dangerous. You start doing that, you're going to activate Alexis and order something online that you don't want to order. Like, seriously. That's dangerous right there, calling someone Alexis these days. I didn't say anything, but my boyfriend laughed, assuming it was a joke. Yeah, that's really unsupportive. That sucks. However, she continued to refer to me by this name despite mine and my boyfriend's corrections until I eventually snapped at her to stop. I'm usually polite and trying to divert these kind of comments, but being referred to by a Western name really pissed me off. And I said something like, can you stop this bullshit with my name, please? I've had enough of it now and it's fucking racist. Wow, okay, that's extreme. That's extreme, but yeah, it is kind of racist. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Absolutely. But I don't think it's a dead name. I think it's just, you know, She got really upset, saying she couldn't believe I'd speak to her like that. I left the table. My boyfriend shouted after me to come back and apologize, but I went outside to calm down. Eventually, my boyfriend came outside to tell me to apologize for swearing and calling her a racist. I said I would apologize for swearing, so I shouldn't have been disrespectful, but I wasn't going to apologize for calling what she said racist. He said she doesn't see it as a race thing and she just finds my name a little funny. So I told him to forget it. I was going to drive home and he could get an Uber by itself. It's incredible how these people that do this would be so bent out of shape by, going to another country and somebody doing the same to them. They would be absolutely livid. But yeah, I left by myself and came home later. I apologized for leaving without him, and he says he understands why I was upset, but I need to apologize to his mum because she's really hurt that I called her a racist. I said I hadn't called her a racist. Oh, it's fucking right. So she didn't call her a racist. She said that what she's doing is okay. Well, that's fair. And I want to apologize for swearing, but I didn't want to apologize for saying that what she said was racist because she'll just keep doing it. However, I'm worried I'm wrong to be so stubborn because my distinction between saying something racist being a racist feels kind of pedantic. It's not really. I mean, you're not saying she's doing it intentionally. You're saying that what she's saying is racist because she's not respecting the name that you have from your country and your culture and your ethnicity. It's pretty horrible, in fact. Like just call her by her name. It's sort of basic respect thing. And because she keeps phoning my boyfriend, tell him that she shouldn't be allowed to talk to his own mother like that. So am I the arsehole? No, I don't think so. I mean, a little bit. Yeah, you kind of shouldn't have sworn at her and stuff. But, I mean, how long is she going to ignore what you've asked before she actually decides to do the right thing and call you by your name? I mean, to be honest with you, I would probably, like, her name, put something on the end of it, and like keep calling her that, like if it's Mavis, you like have Maviston or something, just to let her get a taste of her medicine. Poster apologize for racism accusation. I don't think she should personally. I think that sort of making it say, hey, I know you didn't mean intentionally, but not respecting somebody's name from their parents and, who have a different ethnic background, and then inserting a westernization if they don't want to use it is pretty racist. It just is, like sort of you would say if it was me, I would be, hey, do you mind if I call you fill in the blank, right? So if it was a name hard to pronounce, hey, do you mind if I call you Frankie since I'm having difficulty with it? If they say, yes, I do mind, I'm like, okay, I'll do my best to get your name right. Like, why are you dying on this hill of their name? Seriously, it's just a name. Just call people what they want to be called. It's not hard. Okay. Poll up. That sounds dodgy. That sounds really dodgy. But I'm here for it. Let's see what the Redditors say. What do you got to say? Not the arsehole. Do not apologize to her. Instead, talk to her. For the record, it's definitely intolerant, with the end result being that it is racist. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. It is. It absolutely is. If I had somebody went somewhere and they said, oh, we can't, for your name, we're going to call you Matt because we can't pronounce Mark. It's like, no, just call me Mark. Come on, just do your best. Seriously. What the hell? You need to start with your boyfriend. Explain to him what your mother did is not accepting someone with a different background than hers. Correct. At best, she is being selfish. At worst, she is, in fact, intolerant of those different backgrounds and or race. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I don't think she's trying to. We've got to understand that these people were born in a time where, it's like somebody in their 70s, 80s is, used to racism, as like saying that fish are used to water. They were born in a time, but at the same time, it's not acceptable anymore to be like that. You can't just be, throw out racist comments all over the place. For that reason, you'll not be apologizing. If anyone needs to apologize, it is her. I agree. She's not calling you by your name. Just call her by her damn name. It's not hard. Do your best job. You don't have to be perfect. Just do what you can. And plus, it's not even like she can't pronounce it. She just doesn't like it. Like, who says, hey, I don't like your name, so I'm not going to call you by that name? It's not there for you to like. This is weird. I feel like her mother, the guy's mother, is just doing a power play. They just want to sort of leverage their power on the girlfriend and sort of, be over her and say, hey, if I don't like something about you, I'm going to change it, and that is awful. That's awful. But you aren't done yet. It's his job to manage his mother. Is it though? I don't think so. I mean, some mothers can't be managed. I don't know. It is his job to protect you from her behavior. Yeah, kind of, I guess. I mean, he should at least be supportive. I don't know about white knighting or, sort of being sort of stepping in to protect you, but he should support you at least. He should stop this mum and clearly stated, Mum, his name is X, not Xtifer, every single time. Yeah, absolutely. And sort of laughing at it also encourages her. I think that's a bad thing to do. At some point, it should have escalated to, Mum, we are leaving. We'll come back when you apologize and just use X. Yeah, this, absolutely. If that's one of your boundaries, fair enough. But you've got to enforce it. You can't force people to change to adhere to your boundaries. I think this is really the best point in here, that if she's not going to respect your boundaries, then you need to remove her from your presence if she's not going to do that, however that is. And, but you're being, no, using somebody's name is a big deal. That's what they want to be referred to. Be clear that you're not caved to keep the peace. With her, when people keep the peace to placate arseholes, the arseholes win. That's true. It's sometimes hard, though, and sometimes you've got to pick your battles. If it's not a great big deal to you, dying on that hill is probably not a good idea. Save it for when you actually your boundaries are crossed. Be honest with yourself. If it's just to be, start a fight, seriously, don't worry. It's not worth it. But if it does cross your boundaries, yeah, die on that hill. I get you. You will not be visiting his mum again until she apologizes. He has to figure out what to do. Yeah, I kind of like that. Thank you. Definitely have a conversation. It's especially frustrating because in a sense he gets this what he should be doing, but he always ends up placating her in the moment and apologizing me to the behavior afterwards. So sons and their mothers. All right. We all know what is this a guy, two guys? Is this? Oh, it is two guys. Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, and maybe she doesn't approve of the relationship, and this is how she's being petty about it. Who knows? But yeah, yeah. So guys and their mothers, it's sort of at some point you got to cut the umbilical. I think I'll say boys, but sort of man children. They've got this thing of I can't disappoint my mother, and I get it. I really do. These mama's boys that go, but I can't disappoint her. Look, at some point in your life, you're going to disappoint your parents. That's going to happen. Like your parents think so highly of you that you're going to disappoint them. Accept this and lean into it in some way. Look, you can respect your mother. The whole idea that you can't even disagree with them or else, they're disappointed and you've got to somehow placate them. Seriously, you can't live your life like that. You are your own person, and people will respect you more for being authentic and saying, hey, this is my opinion on things. I think my mother was a bit overbearing like that. She sort of was very disappointed and sort of say, when I brought up behavior that I didn't like from her, she would say, that makes me a bad mother. And it's like, no. And that's sort of a guilt trip that I didn't appreciate. But in the end, when you start to stand up for yourself and say, hey, this is my honest opinion. This is what I want. This is what I need. These are my boundaries. There's that respect there. You will get their respect because you're standing up for yourself. And I know that some mothers are more difficult than others, but that's why you've got to sort of put your foot down and say, hey, this isn't acceptable and won't be tolerated because I can't live like this. This is not a way to live. But a lot of I'd like to say men, but they're more just boys will never actually, stand up to their mothers because they're so afraid of that disappointment. And it's really sad because, this whole idea that mothers can do no wrong. And I have all respect for mothers. That doesn't make everything they do right. Oh, you can't talk to your mother like that because she brought you into this world. Doesn't make what she's doing right. Like, just because you birthed somebody doesn't make you able to say whatever and do whatever to them. Nothing works like that. Respect your mother, but you don't have to respect everything they do if they are doing the wrong thing. So, I think that whole idea that, you've got to not talk back to your mother, or you can't disagree with your mother because she gave birth to you. I mean, what the hell? What's that like? Why doesn't that apply to the guy? I mean, it's a very, very weird thing to me. Squirrel Girl. I like Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl's awesome. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend absolutely is. I don't know about that. I mean, he is talking to her about it. He's doing something. That's at least something. He should have been the one pulling his mother up on her rudeness, and he was too scared to do that at 46. Then he needs some therapy. That might actually be helpful. If 46, if you can't stand up to your mother, you probably need to talk to somebody about why you cannot assert yourself to your parental. Because really, at that point, if you can't do that, there may be something deeper there. Maybe. Just saying. It is completely fine to react the way you did. After all, that's what his mum wanted to happen. I mean, that's a bit of a broad, I don't know about that. She instigated the whole situation. It's her responsibility to apologize to you for being incredibly rude to a guest and potential future family member. I don't know if that's what, I mean, it's hard to tell what people intended by their actions. I guess I haven't been thinking about his role because I can empathize with the position he's in. He had a difficult childhood with her, and she can be really cruel to him when she's upset. Yeah, yep. So overbearing. I get why he doesn't want to start a confrontation with her, but you're right. It's kind of bizarre and honestly sad to see a middle-aged man afraid of his own mum. Yeah, it is. It is. Look, and the thing is that your mother's going to love you no matter what you do. And standing up to her won't change that. In fact, it may give her a bit more respect for you. You're going to be disappointing her one way or another. Definitely going to be there's no way, like, your parents think so highly of you, you're going to disappoint them. And people that don't want to disappoint their parents are usually lying to them, or, not actually showing them what they're up to, because, hey, we all do stuff that our parents wouldn't approve of. Let's face it. So, deal. It's okay. I guess I'm frustrated for giving her exactly the action she clearly wanted, knowing the position would put him in. That doesn't mean I can't ask him to have him back in situations like this, I guess. Yeah, and maybe plotting out what you're going to do in situations like this. Like maybe you have a safe word for your mother-in-law that, if you rub your chin in a certain way, he needs to go, okay, well, she's pissing you off. Let's go. We're gonna. Oh, I forgot to say out something, and just leave. Cover Original says, I used to have a gender-neutral first name, but I have used a shortened version of it since I was 12 years old, and eventually legally changed it to the shortened version. I don't think that's necessary, but sure, you do you, boo. One of my partner's uncles decided to call me by a longer and not my gender version of my name. We're all white, and I found to be generally homophobic, and I took him to be thinking I have to be a different gender from my partner because we're partners. So I would add, yes, racist, but possibly homophobic as well. That's true. Yeah, I think it is probably rooted in homophobia, at least a general attitude towards me is. Like, she never really said anything explicitly homophobic, but it's clear that she doesn't really believe that her son is actually attracted to me. She's constantly comparing me to his ex-wife, just like I'm just some post-divorce midlife crisis. And the thing with hating gender-neutral names does make me feel like she's got some crap to unpack around her expectations of gender roles in her relationships and her feelings about her son being queer. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, and it's difficult to unpack. I get you. That's that's full on. Yeah. Okay, what have you beautiful people got to say? There's jumping to conclusions, Empire Records. Never risk any more than you can afford to lose. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I take that for I think in gambling that's a big deal. Like gambling doesn't thrill me. It doesn't, like, I don't get anything from it, so I don't do it. It doesn't thrill me. I don't get a big rush from it or anything. But if I am going, like, I always make sure that if I am gonna go and I'm at the casino or something for some other thing, and they want to gamble, I never place more than I'm willing to lose. Basically, I place it knowing that I'm going to lose it, essentially. Not that I've been there for years and years and years, but yeah. And I want to emphasize this: dead naming folks is frigging rude. Yeah, I think calling anybody by something other than what they want to be called, or anything like that, it is rude. It's very, very rude. Australians have a long history of giving nicknames to people, Davo and stuff like that. But we're all fine with it. If somebody doesn't like it, I think that you should frigging cut it out. It's also kind of phobic to disagree with gender-neutral names. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I don't get the problem with gender-neutral names like Alex and things like that. I don't understand it. So what? It's gender neutral. So fucking what? It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? I think these people are getting incredibly precious about gender. Like, most of the time, it doesn't even come up. The only people making gender a big fucking deal is these right-wing people that are getting all butthurt about it. Like, I don't understand it. It's like, what's the big deal? It's just gender. Relax. They're sort of acting like it's the end of the world because somebody doesn't conform to their gender identity. It's like, what? How does it affect you at all? Like, at all? It's so weird. It's so weird. Definitely xenophobic. Yeah, I kind of think so, yeah. The racist mum should use the name the girlfriend wants used, period, dot. I agree, Tilting. It isn't. Yeah, it's not damn hard. Yeah, Jedi, I'm with you. I'm with you. Calling people outside their name is disrespectful. Well, I get if you're like, Australians are incredibly lazy and incredibly complex at the same time. So if somebody has a short name like Dave, we'll make it longer. We'll put an O on their Davo. But if someone's got an incredibly long name, we'll make it shorter, which is just strange. We're a proud, strange people. I stole that from Tapioca Weasel, by the way. She shouldn't. Actually, we're not a proud people. We're probably the least proud people you've ever met. It's probably descending from convicts that did it. We're really not proud. Look, Australians are the least proud people in the world. We're common muck and proud of it. So maybe we are proud. We're proud to be not proud. There you go. He shouldn't jump on her like that. She repeatedly told him to intervene and he refused. This is the logical conclusion. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But I think that removing yourself from the situation before it gets to the point of, insults and getting upset is probably the better idea. I think that person in the comments had a better idea. Yeah, and Tilting agrees, yeah. Hello, Deviant. So good to see you. It's always fantastic when you're here. Always fantastic to see you. Anjo says, I don't care if you're born at a different time. That means you've had longer to learn how not to be an asshole. No excuses. No, I get you, Anjo. And I think that so those habits of sort of your time, it can be hard to break. I know that when I first learnt of trans people, I was making a lot of mistakes in misgendering and things like that because it was something new to me and I had to learn it. But at the same time, there's a tendency, I think that if you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, this wasn't a thing when I was growing up and throughout my life, I will try as hard as possible. That's a different response than, no, I don't like your name and I'm going to still call you something else. That's a completely different response. I think that, one is trying as much as possible to break habit and the other one is just being an asshole, yeah. But I think you're aware of that, aren't you? I think you know that. Because I made all kinds of mistakes with trans people because I just wasn't familiar with the culture, with the people, with the idea. You know, and it took a while for me to learn, but it's okay. You know, trans people, they don't care if you're trying as hard as possible and you make a mistake. They don't give a shit. They're like, yeah, no, it's okay. You apologize and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And they're like, it's fine. That's fine. You're not trying to be an asshole. You're fine. But this guy over here who's doing it on purpose, they're a complete asshole. Tilting says, I think it's his job to be assertive, to repair the situation and draw a line. Yeah, I think so. And I think that's supporting. Like, I think that you can firmly stand by your partner kind of thing. You can firmly stand by them and say, hey, I am not hearing how you're offended. You went out of your way to call the person I love the wrong name, and you knew it upset them and still did it anyway. I am not siding with you. I am not asking for an apology. I am not supporting you at all. I'm supporting them because you knew this would upset them and you did it anyway. You know, that's the kind of thing I would say if I was the guy's partner. That isn't cool. Gran, that isn't cool. That's not cool, Gran. Not cool. Go back to your chair. In the corner, Gran. You're in the bad girl's corner. I don't care how old you are. You're in your 70s. You're still in the bad girl's corner. Go on. Off you go. On your bike. on your motorized scooter. Go on. Sterling Nash says, I'm in the boat of no one pronouncing my name properly. I've tolerated my entire life. One time I resorted to mispronouncing theirs and they quickly figured out how to pronounce mine. Yeah, and that sometimes works, Sterling. I get you, mate. That does sometimes work. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, if that is your real name, which it probably isn't. Mud Fossil was a hoot. Oh, Mud Fossil. Yeah, they're the gift that keep on giving. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I was doing something this Monday. I can't remember what. I think I had to go out. And I missed Bad Science Sunday. Yeah, I missed Bad Science Sunday on Monday. Yes. I know what I said. I stand by it. If you repeatedly correct them and even give them help pronouncing it and they still won't, I consider it a microaggression. Yeah, I mean, look, Sterling, honestly, mate, people still think I pronounce things wrong and weird and stuff. And it may be an accent thing. If it's an accent thing, that's fair enough. I don't know. People still say I pronounce Antarctica wrong because I don't do the Arctica. Antarctica. And I still can't pronounce it correctly. And I think it's just the accent and the way I pronounce it. It's wild. It's a wild thing. Holy hell, boy mums are redacted. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think there's there's definitely layers to it. I think that a guy that really loves his mum and doesn't like to argue with him, that's kind of a boy mum, and that's fine. But a guy that just simply cannot stand their ground against their mum and gives into anything, yeah, that's to me, that's pretty weak. That's weak sauce. That's pretty weak sauce. I don't know what that's about, so I'm going to skip it. Hating gender-neutral names are the same vibes as when Jordan Peter said, if I don't know what gender you are, how am I supposed to know how to treat you? Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird, Jer. I do remember that vaguely, and that's weird. And it's sort of on par with those people that say, hey, they, them is a plural thing and not a singular thing. No, it's not. No, they, them is used when you're unsure of gender. That's all. Like, what is Jordan Peterson doing? Does he need to know to smack them on the ass or not? Like, what is he doing that he needs to know, like, how to treat you? I just treat them like a person? I don't. Weird. I'm bad with names, so I mastered euphemism. Okay. Well, it's weird that you're bad with names, but you can pronounce euphemism. Okay, that's a bit weird, but sure. Sure, Andrew, not a problem. Reed says they're bullies. They find trans people weird, and bullies would rather persecute someone being weird than just shrug and say live and let live. That's probably true, mate. That is probably true. I don't know. I just don't see it affecting anybody, but it just seems to be this big deal that has no consequence for society whatsoever. It doesn't matter. Like really, and it helps people. So I don't. I'll be honest, I'm still learning, but I go out of my way to ask and use what I'm given. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I missed the context, but I'll say it once. I'll say what I've said it before. One's name is something important to one's sense of individuality and personhood. Just plain refusing to refer to a people using the name they tell you is just utterly disrespectful. If you don't know, that's one thing. Once you do know, it's something different. Yeah, I get you, and it's really weird because I've been for most of my life in sort of gamer culture, and gamer culture, you just call people by whatever their tag is or whatever they want to be called. People are like, oh, this is my real name, and to be honest with you, I have trouble remembering it. I'm like, well, I'll call you whatever you put on the screen in front of me. That's it, right? Whatever you put up there. One of my best friends, like I know his real name, but to me, he'll always be Warlord because that's his gamer tag. That's what he uses consistently. I know him as Warlord. That is the name to me. And I think we can learn something from sort of gamer tag culture that you just call people what they want to be called because they've selected it for a reason. It means something to them. And that's what we're talking about. This label of their name means something to this person, and you're just crapping all over it. Really bad. Bad form, old lady. Bad form. Aunt Jess says, I mean, the old people who refuse to change because it wasn't like that in their time, and the people who make excuses for old people by saying and not holding them accountable. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I'm just very aware that, as you get older, your neuroplasticity reduces, and breaking habit is really hard to do. That's why they have that thing, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can, it's just a lot harder, that's all. It's just because that neuroplasticity goes down. Yes, it doesn't excuse you for learning, but it is harder to learn when you're older. That's just the facts, aren't you? That's just the facts. But hey, I don't see it as being that big a problem. You can still learn. It's just a little bit harder, that's all. Yes, I've long argued for the use of dunce caps and corners for adults misbehaving. For instance, Trump put on the dum-dum cap and go stand in the corner. Yeah, absolutely. But if we did that, the economy in the US would just suddenly spike upwards, like seriously. No, I have an ethnic name and a Canadian name, like a lot of immigrants do. No, that's fair. That's fair, Sterling. I get angry if someone random calls me chief or buddy. Hey, I'll do that occasionally, Luke. Listen, chief, sorry. I just but I mean, usually I'll do it in a way that's joking. Like I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not sure that will work for you, chief, kind of thing. I don't know why I do it. It's just something I picked up. Yeah. Markstrom comes to us from the future. Future echo. Am I echoing? Am I echoing? Am I echoing? Am I echoing? Is that what's happening? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Hold it. I'm going to listen in for a second. You just wait. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. You're a liar. You're just a dirty liar. Thank you, Deviant. That was a good catch. That is pretty poor behavior. Reed S says, there's a phrase Thomas Jefferson used to say, it neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket. I wish more people would use and apply it. Yeah. And I think that, whatever I think of America, I do think the Founding Fathers and the Constitution is an amazing document. It really is. It places the power firmly in the hands of the people. There's a lot to be said for it. It's just, I wish that people would pay more attention to actually what it says. And I have problems with parts of it. Second Amendment, I vehemently disagree. Although, the Second Amendment, a lot of it's up to how you interpret it. Like a well-regulated militia. I don't think guns are well-regulated by any means, but they sort of get around that by their interpretation. It's not very well thought out. It's not very well thought out or, put together kind of thing. In Egyptian mythology, your name was your life existence. While people remember it and say it, your immortality is assured, if I remember right. Well, that certainly explains the pyramids with cartouches with the guy's name in it. It was a joke. Okay, yeah, okay. Our given name is part of our culture that we often give up when being an immigrant. I won't legally change mine for many reasons, and nor should you have to, Sterling. Nor should you have to. You give up so much as an immigrant, expecting someone to give up their name is a bridge too far. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think you have to give up all of your culture either. I think that it's important that people do preserve their culture from where they're from. It's called a melting pot for a reason, because we have all these different cultures with, things we can learn from them. I was in the park after I voted, and I saw, I think it was Malaysian people. I didn't know which sort of island of Southeast Asia they were from. I thought it was Filipino, but they were doing a sort of dance facing each other and doing sort of a look like a traditional dance. And I think it was beautiful. It was lovely. And they were, having fun and smiling, just gorgeous, and why should you not be able to do that because you're in a different country? Who are you hurting? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I'm an Australian sitting there. I don't come from that culture, and I found it beautiful and lovely and really was nice. What's the big deal? They're just enjoying life. But they're not enjoying life the way we enjoy life. Big fucking deal. Get over yourself. It's more complicated than that, Jedi, but it's an acceptable take. A person was thought to be made up of 5 parts: the Ka, the Akh, the Ba, the shadow, and the name. Also, it's not in their mythology as much as it was part of Egyptian thought. Okay, well, Egyptian logic. There you go. Second Amendment was meant for people shooting muskets. Yeah, no, I get you. But, I mean, even that says a well-regulated militia is essential to prevent tyranny kind of thing. So, the whole idea that it should just be unregulated like they do want is just insane. Aunt Jess says, I love watching dances from all over the world. It's so cool. My YouTube algorithm knows this. The best thing I saw was the politician, the parliamentarian from New Zealand doing the haka in Parliament. That was baller. That was so cool. Like, I know it's a war dance, but like, she was expressing her emotions very well by doing that. It was cool. I did like it. Our family had to go up to the name. They couldn't pronounce our Swedish names. They used the tradition of the son of. Oh, okay. So, no, whatever son. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I like different dances. Cultural dances. I love the haka. I love the Hawaiian hula dances. Just all of them are just, having different cultures is great. I don't know why anybody has a problem with it. The area that I live in, it's got a lot of Indian people, and I love talking with them. They're really nice. There's a guy from Middle East next door. He's great. There's people from Africa. They're fantastic. Everybody is just nice. There's a lot of Chinese people around here. We all just, are nice to one another, and it's a nice place to live because there's all kinds of different people. I don't get the problem. Like, we all just live together in happiness and take care of one another. And, we're just a society of different types of people. This whole idea that you have to be the same culture in order for it to work. No, not at all. Not in the slightest. I don't have a problem when the Chinese people celebrate the Chinese New Year. I don't have an issue with it. They don't have an issue when I celebrate Christmas. Nobody has an issue with one another except these issues that they're trying to make. They're trying to make these issues to divide people and stop them from, voting down Christianity. Fuck Christianity. If Christianity was worthwhile, it would appeal to more people and they wouldn't have a problem. Stop trying to divide everybody. Everybody's just doing their thing. Seriously. Yeah, Kamate. That is the song about the woman who, something like that, she went to the moon and is combing her hair. Kamate. Yeah, just an awesome thing. They do at the start of the rugby. It's technically a war dance, technically. Here in the States, the local dance is performed drunk and naked and called the Walk of Shame. Yeah, I thought the Walk of Shame is when you had to the Walk of Shame to me was always when you're on campus of a university and you had to go back to your residence across the campus, still wearing the disheveled clothes you were in the night before because you'd slept over at somebody's house, kind of thing. Most of them are, yeah. Most of them are. Okay, I'll do one more. And how did the poll go? Do we have a outcome? Poster has done nothing wrong. Yeah, no, I don't think they did either. Pulling faces, sticking her tongue out and stamping her feet. What? Are you serious? That's a war dance. Whoever said that is an idiot. Whoever said that is an idiot. That is some serious stuff there. It means that they are pissed off. Like that. Wow. To be honest, it sure as shit beat Elon's, jump for joy thing he did on stage. Let's face it, What expression of upset and disapproval has somebody in the US done that even comes close to that? Seriously. Probably the guy that shook his cane at Donald Trump. The cane shake will go down forever. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not calling my legal guardian's husband my stepdad? No, absolutely not. They're your dad when you feel they are your dad. You are not obliged in any way to accept them as your father until you feel that they are. You feel that they are. I honestly think that you cannot be forced to do that. But let's investigate. Not my stepdad. Okay. Not my stepdad. I, 16 female, live with my godfather as my legal guardian. Okay. So you live with your godfather as your legal guardian. My parents were both foster kids. It's how they met. Ugh. And started dating after they aged out of foster care. They both died in a car accident when I was 10. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, damn. That sucks. There's nothing but bad luck in there. Ugh. And them both having no family I could go to. Neither of my parents had living relatives that were able to take care of me. I was taken in by my godfather because my parents had the insane oversight to write a will as newlyweds year-olds and name a guardian for their newborn at the time of writing this will child. Yeah, it's a good idea. Having godparents that are happy to take you if the worst happens. It's one of those things. Hopefully you'll never need it ever. But, it happens. Godparents don't have legal rights unless named as a guardian in case where parents can't take care of kid. It was one of those ultra rare cases where the godparent actually gets custody, unlike what you see sometimes in TV shows or movies where TV shows or movies where. Okay, that trailed off. Where the godfather doesn't do anything, I presume that they're sort of saying that they're just a symbolic thing. Yeah, not necessarily. It is, basically you're the person to take care of you if something does happen to your parents. My godfather is chill. I don't call him dad. I call him by his first name, but for privacy, let's call him Bob. Cool. Awesome, Bob. Yep, gotcha. I think of him kind of like an uncle. That's fair. He recently got married to Ham, not his husband's real name, to Ham. Okay. To Ham is nice, if not a little cringe and goofy, but that's not a crime. And we get along well 99% of the time. Cool, that's cool. Ham moved in with me and Bob like 6 months ago, and they got married 3 weeks ago. Got back from honeymoon like 6 days ago. You know what? I love this episode of AIMBOT. It's like the gayest episode, and I'm here for it. I think it's awesome. I thought that after they got back from their honeymoon, there wouldn't be any big changes, considering they already lived together. And like when people already live together, then get married, it doesn't everything at home stay mostly the same after you get married and all the wedding excitement dies down? Like, don't routine stuff go back to normal? Well, that was my experience. I mean, yeah. Lynn and I lived together for a long while. We then got married. Nothing really changed. I guess something did change, and we got more legal rights in relation to one another. But like, as far as our nothing, literally nothing changed. It was just exactly the same relationship because we were basically de facto married already, or we were de facto married already. So really nothing changed. I guess not, because yesterday at like 6 in the fucking morning before school, I don't know why she's yelling. Ham asked to speak to me about something important. I thought it was about stealing his Imodium. What the hell is Imodium? Why are you stealing medication? That seems wrong. A drug for people with acute diarrhea. Why are you stealing his diarrhea drug? What? Okay, so apparently it's loperamide, and it's opioid with psychoactive substances. Yeah, apparently you can, but it's very dangerous. It can be fatal. So don't do that. Don't do that, though. It's dangerous to the heart and can be fatal. Damn. All right, we'll stop that for a start. I'm kind of just saying, hey, you're an asshole because you're stealing his frigging medication. Who are you? What the hell? He sat me down and told me did this whole cheesy spiel about how he knows he isn't my real father, and then of course he could never replace my real father, but as he is my stepdad, would be honored if I called him dad. I told him I'm not calling him dad because he isn't my dad and he's not even my stepdad. He's married to a man who is my legal guardian, not my dad. He told me that he's still my stepdad, even if I don't want to call him dad, which he was fine with my not calling him dad. I told him he's not my stepdad. He's not married to one of my parents. Maybe he's legally or functionally a stepfather equivalent, but I am not and will never bestow the title of stepfather upon him. At this point, we were getting into a full-blown argument, but close enough, and Bob came in and told me to go to school. Me and Ham have not spoken since yesterday morning, and it's creating all tension in the house, and now I'm wondering if I'm the arsehole. No, but you are the arsehole for stealing somebody's medication. That I'm not worried about. I'm worried about stealing medication. Look, these things are frigging dangerous, dude. People turn up in emergency rooms and morgues because of this stuff. Oof. Nope. That's, yeah, you are. You are an arsehole, but not for the reason you think you are. Oof. I'll do a poll. Is the poster an arsehole? Just to say the poster wrong for not calling guardian stepfather. or stealing medication. Give me 1 sec. I'll just set this up. Man, you are a complete ass. I mean, they're 16. I did some stupid shit when I was 16. I got to admit, but still, you know, and I was being an asshole at the time. Like, I was being absolutely morally horrible. So, you know, I certainly think that from hindsight, and yeah, it's hypocritical to say, but I do hold myself to the same standard. I said terrible stuff when I was younger. So, you know, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Let's see what the Redditors have to say. Did they pick up on it? Not the arsehole. Weird that he asked. 1. Oh, we've got some bullet points. I like you, Els9. Bullet points. 1. Weird that he asked. 2. Weird that he asked without Bob. Did Bob know he wanted to ask? Why wasn't he there? That is true. That is true. It is kind of weird. 3. Weirdest of all is doubling down that he's your stepdad when you made a sound logical argument for why he's literally not. Yeah. By the way, I hope you're not using Imodium for the wrong reasons. Be safe. Yeah. What wrong reasons to use Imodium? Yeah. High similar. It's incredibly dangerous. Yeah. Incredibly dangerous. Oof. Yeah. Please don't. Raven MN says, not the arsehole. First, you certainly had an interesting life and you're a good writer. No, they aren't. They're not a good writer. They had a hanging sentence. They used wrong perspective on multiple occasions. They're not a good writer. Who are you? You're terrible. They're not a good writer. Clearly, your parents were geniuses for arranging a godfather you like. Does that make somebody a genius? Oh, you know, in case anything happens for them, this person's the godfather because she likes them and they're responsible. I'm not sure that rises to genius level. What is this person saying? I'm sorry. I just don't think they're a good writer, and I don't think their parents were geniuses for just having a godfather. I'm thinking Ham is ignorant of unusual families like yours. It was a klutzy move to speak to you at 6 a.m. and not to include his husband in the conversation. That I agree with, absolutely. One thing to remember, you're the expert in your life and your family relations. He is not. Yeah, that's true. Look, nobody can really tell you what your perspective should be. And plus, your decisions, you're the one that's going to have to live with them. Like, that's the thing. Like, take people's advice, but always sort of know that you're the one that has to make decisions on what's best for you, because nobody else can tell you that. What's best for you, the only person that can tell you that is you. And you're the one that's going to have to live with it. So people sort of saying, hey, you should do this or should do that, they're not the ones having to live with it. I'm not the one that's going to have to live with it. You are. So it's only you that can make that decision. Try telling him that one day you might be willing to talk to him about what the terms godfather, dad, stepdad mean to you, but you're ready to do it on your own timeline and when you are ready. That is a good idea. Just sort of saying, hey, you know, I don't feel comfortable at the moment. I may in the future. I mean, at the moment, you may think you will never call him that, right? You know, you may never call him your dad, but that may change. There's one thing I've learned, things that I thought were set in stone when I was younger ain't so set and ain't so stony. They're really, they do change. I think that somebody's sort of saying, hey, people are being mean and obnoxious. Does that change as you get older? No, but you will. You know, you definitely will. Things that seemed important no longer are, and things that didn't seem important suddenly are. I don't know. There's one thing you can always rely on is change. So saying that isn't lying to them. It isn't misleading them. It's sort of being honest that, hey, I don't know how I will feel in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years time, because you don't. Honestly don't. I didn't think I would have my perspective now, 20 years ago. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It feels like I am a completely different person from that time. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. It's wild. It's very wild when your younger self feels like a stranger to you. I guess I'm just old. I guess I'm just old. Also, just to clear, my partner and I lived together 3 years before marriage, and the weirdest thing seems different after the ceremony. I don't agree. Literally nothing changed between me and my wife when we got married. Like nothing. Look, I had a ring that I had to remember. That's about it. Like seriously. Big hugs from internet. Klutzy is a good word. He's not like a weirdo. He's just slightly above average of weird and cringe. Sounds like my kind of guy. Nice. Nice. Classic Overlord. Oh, Galactic Overlord. St. Elvis. Not the asshole. This was not an appropriate request of him to make. He should have gone through Bob to assess your feeling towards him first. Yeah. I think he just really likes her and would like to be a father figure to her. So he's kind of being very, not insensitive, but very ham-fisted about it. Not the asshole. That's how you feel, then that's how you feel. Yep. He needs to respect your boundaries. Yep. Neither of you can make you feel different. Correct. Assuming things here, I'm wondering if Ham regrets not having kids of his own and wants to put you in that child role. It's wrong to force that position on you regardless, but makes sense given the suddenly call me daddy. I wish you wouldn't say that. That's not, no. Okay, stop. What makes this even weirder, asked, if you don't even call your godfather dad, he's your guardian. Why would he think you would call him dad if you don't call your godfather dad? Does Bob know what the argument was about? He should be getting your side of the story if he hasn't already and telling his spouse to back up. I would agree. I have talked to Bob. I should have fake named him Don or Corleone in the post. Missed opportunity. Okay, this may not be a serious one. Just saying. He told me that Ham actually asked him if he could ask me to call him dad, and Bob's reaction, so he told me, was basically, sure, I guess. He does not know why it even matters to Ham, but he told me that see, this is it. That is not a good way to write that. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, I don't mind. Like, you're not supposed to be a great writer posting to Reddit, but come on. But he told me that Ham and I need to figure it out amongst ourselves. And two, wrong, bad, no. It's two. That's what you should have. Two. And to only involve him if things escalate. Okay, well, I mean, if it's uncomfortable, it's escalated. So you can probably say, hey, it's now uncomfortable. Can you sort of moderate, or can we talk it out? And, maybe just say, I'm sorry if that hurts you, but that's how I feel. I still miss my parents. I think that sort of telling him how you feel, it would be okay. And I do agree that you should say, look, I'm not saying I will never, because they're sort of saying I will never call you dad kind. That's probably what hurt. At the moment, though, you can be honest and say, at the moment, I can't see it happening. But 30 years, who knows where you'll be at? That's a long time. People change. So I really encourage people to, sort of just say, hey, not at the moment, but down the road, we can revisit it. It's not a problem. Where am I? Where am I looking at? From the peeps. They were American, absolutely xenophobic. Oh, that was for the previous one, actually. Yeah, I kind of agree. Bernie's mittens and inauguration was metal. Yeah, actually, that's true. Those mittens were a statement. They were a statement. I'm not sure what that statement was, but boy, did it state it. Reed says, I'm having trouble following this one. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a weird one. It's basically just her step guardian wants to be called dad. Not even the guardian, which is wild and weird. And I get what she's saying, but I think he's more offended by her saying that will never happen kind of thing. It's very brutal if you consider someone a daughter-like figure and they're sort of saying, I will never think of you as dad. I can get where he's coming from. Imodium is like Pepto-Bismol. I'm not sure it is, Sterling. Does it need a prescription? I presume so if she has to steal it, right? Does Imodium need prescription? Oh, it's over the counter. What? Are you serious? Okay. Well, that's horrifying. Would not recommend it. Would not recommend it. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I've been shown on milk and magnesia. They're made should be careful. Yeah, I mean, cough syrup is something you can purchase over the counter, and that can do really big harm if you take too much of it and stay on it for a long period of time. Very, very terrible stuff to you. Anancha says at the very least, taking diarrhea medication without having diarrhea is going to make you uncomfortable and possibly testy. Yeah, possibly. I mean, you might sort of have constipation because it stops you. Ugh, sounds horrible. Oh, thank you, Maya. It's not hypocritical giving life advice you could learn from and no longer do. Yeah, I think you're right. But then again, I think that hypocrisy is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's annoying. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I know what they're using the Imodium for, but I probably shouldn't say it. Okay, well, don't. I know that it's sort of used for other stuff as well. This is like the comedy version of Luke, I'm your father. OP, I'm your stepdad, said with gravitas. OP laughs. No, that's impossible. The one thing that is inevitable is change. Yep, sure is. Try to embrace it where you can. Embrace change. It's hard. We all like our standard things that we go through. Absolutely. When I used to work, change would come and you had to embrace it. You have to try to embrace it. It's rough, but you do. Feels like a Brady Bunch episode, plus there's no context on Ham's personality. He might be a nice guy who made a mistake. Yeah, no, I agree, Luke. It doesn't seem wildly unreasonable, but at the same time, you could understand why she feels set upon, right? Because if she still misses her parents and, couldn't even consider thinking of somebody else as her father, I can understand that too. So I get you, Luke. I really do. Getting back to you on from that. Oh, yeah, okay. Milk Manage had the opposite effect. Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay, Sterling. Not a problem, mate. Imodium is something you can really abuse for hallucinogenic. Most will make you constipated. Okay, well, then I don't. I have no idea why they're doing it. I only know what I read on the internet, and sometimes that can be very, very misleading, Sterling, as we all know. So, yep. Ham is the pseudonym that OP chose for the non-stepdad. You know what? And forever in my mind, their non-stepdad is fixed as Ken Ham. Like that's what's fixed in my mind right now. That's what my mind is bringing up, which is a horrific thing. And I can totally understand why if Ken Ham turned around and go, do you want to call me dad? She goes, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Sterling says, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this family, but it's okay. Well, this is sort of your, the found family, the family that's just come together. I don't, it can work. It definitely can work. But, we've got to pay attention to what others' boundaries are and what ours are and take them into consideration. Look, I've got no doubt they'll talk this out, come to an understanding. Maybe Ham just wanted her to know how much he considers her a daughter, and that's really sweet. That's a really nice thing. And maybe he just made a mistake. Yeah. Maybe the OP was embarrassed about having diarrhea and didn't want to ask for it and just took some instead. Yeah, maybe they didn't boil their water. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, well that's the thing. Everyone's acting terribly. Yeah, I kind of think so. But I don't think it's a huge thing. This is the thing. I don't think you're essentially. I've done worse stuff when I was a teenager, quite frankly. So, and I've certainly put my foot in my mouth at more than one occasion. So I don't think either of them are necessarily terrible. I just think that everybody's sort of misstepped here. you know, I've got a funny feeling if they sat down and talked about it and just sort of said, oh, well, I really wanted to be your father. And she just said, oh, I can't handle, you know, they could easily talk this out. And I think that, you know, there's probably just some hurt feelings over her saying, hey, you will never have that title ever. And it sort of probably, you know, it hurt him a bit if he felt like he was, you know, some sort of father figure. It probably hurt a little. And that's understandable. That's understandable. So she was a bit horrendous. Well, we had a fun time. We had a Jill. We had a random people. Nobody said that we couldn't use morality, so I consider that a victory. I consider it a victory. I will set up a member stream for tomorrow. Hell, I'll just throw a thumbnail together. I think I'm overthinking it as per usual, really overthinking it, but I will do that. We're back again the next day, same time for Fundamentalist Fails. And I've got a really good one here. I managed to sneak up a little good one, which has all kinds of fancy graphics to play around with and sort of look over. But it's on Do Animals Go to Heaven? So that should be fun. That should be awesome. I don't know how they managed to get that. But hey, I'm a very nice boy. I try. I think, look, so I you know, people are complicated. I've been bullied in my childhood. I've been a bully in my childhood. I've been all kinds of things. I think that people are capable. Who was it? Noam Chomsky said the most poignant thing. Everyone is capable of being a saint and a gas chamber attendant. Everyone's capable of that. But realizing that and sort of trying to be the best person you can be, it's sometimes swings and misses, right? Sometimes. But I try my best. And that's all that anybody can ever ask of you or anybody else. Noam Chomsky. Yeah, Noam Chomsky. Oh, you know what? I always liked, and you know what? It's a shame because I did a Baldur's Gate playthrough on my gaming channel, which I really need to start up again. I've been so slack on that thing. But I had I didn't even use the old Noam Chomsky. You know, oh, I forgot the P. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Noam Chomsky. I didn't even use it. I should have. I'm a bad person. I failed. I totally failed. But do take care. Be kind to yourself. If you can't put up with somebody calling you a different name, saying you're something, not respecting you, or if you feel they're not respecting you, you don't have to stay and put up with it. Have those boundaries. If you can, in order to satisfy them or to help somebody, if you can, you know, if you don't have that boundary, that's fine, but that's entirely up to you. No one can tell you where that is. No one can say, hey, you should have sat there and listened to it. If that's your boundary, that is your boundary. And you don't need to explain it to anybody. I am not comfortable with that is simply enough explanation. You don't have to explain why you're not. None of that is required. It's helpful if you do want to communicate with people, but it's not required. That is something that you don't like. That's enough. All good. However, you can't change other people's behavior. You can only change your own. So yelling at somebody to change may not be the best thing. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Aunt Jen. And give your friends a damn dollar at the vending. It's only $1, okay? Just relax. You know, I get sort of watching the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves, but hey, we're all in a bind sometimes. It's not a great big deal. And that dollar's probably going to go down the couch anyway. Let's face it. It's gonna end up down the couch. Let's be real here. Anyway, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and I will see you in the next one when we aimbot it up again. Because I'm having fun. If you're having fun, leave a comment. Say, hey, I'm having fun. Please do continue. Say stop. I hate it. I hate every second. Please stop. I will ask why you're commenting, but you're allowed to say that too. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Take care, everybody.
this old switchboard could talk. Wow, your ears would sizzle. 1880. We take Alexander Graham Bell's invention for granted today. Perhaps we should. But isn't it incredible that millions and millions of people can talk simultaneously to practically any spot on Earth?